Real estate enthusiasts, welcome to The Closing Table, hosted by entrepreneur, published author, and founder of Inspired Title Group, Drew Wischhover. Joining Drew is his co-host, the always smiling director of operations and title guru, Aimee, Maley. Every week, they're dishing out laughter, game-changing tips, and the latest industry trends, as well as the occasional visit from real estate professionals. No matter where you are in your real estate journey, we've got you covered. So don't just sit there. Pull up a chair, have a seat, and join us at The Closing Table. Everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to another exciting episode. This is your one-stop shop, right? I guess we're your one-stop shop for everything real estate. I am Drew Wischhover, the president and CEO of Inspired Title Group.
And I am Aimee Maley, the title guru, and I can do it. I can't say it. Title guru at director of operations at Inspired Title Group.
We are stressed. We are taxed. It's that time of the year where, it's the fourth quarter.
But it's usually not, which is why it's so weird.
No, I know. It's crazy. This is different.
Yeah, we've been talking just about real estate in general and how it's usually kind of like a cyclical roller coaster, right? Like, you have your spring months that are usually pretty busy. And then once school starts, it kind of like simmers down a little bit. And then usually around the holidays, it's a little bit quiet. And then it kind of starts ramping up again right around Super Bowl.
Yep.
But like this normal roller coaster has gone from like a year to like 3.5 years.
Yeah, it's changed totally.
And because now, with these refinances, people that, bought in the 7s or 8s are now starting to refi at this time. And like my face is not even my face is not part of my brain right now. So I apologize for whatever you're about to witness over the next hour of your lives.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Today, we're going to be diving into the alphabet and the ABCs of title. We're all the way on Q, the letter Q, which we figured, we're never going to find anything with the letter Q, but we did.
We have 9 letters left.
We did 9 letters left. That means 9 shows till the end of the year, folks. 9 more. Yep, she's counting on her fingers. That's it. Good deal. If the fingers say it's right, it's right. I
can't wait till it's time to talk about title zebras.
Zebras. Yes, indeed. Yes. Well, today we're going to talk about quitclaim deeds. We're going to talk about quiet title suits. You might have heard what these terms in maybe conversations through your transactions and such, but we want to kind of help clear that up and kind of give you some direction on what those things are. But that's not all.
Nope. We're going to talk about the recent cut by the feds and how this might impact buyers, sellers, and people looking to refinance. And we also have a official announcement from the team that is going to come at the end of our show.
Well, and I can't forget about our special guest. And this is somebody that is just known to us for a long period of time. We're going to be speaking with Brian Barkowski, also known as Barko. He has taken on a new endeavor with A&N Mortgage, and he's going to chat with us a little bit today about what's going on in the industry, what he's seeing, kind of what his new endeavor is like, and saying some good things about his friends here at Inspired Title. So we are also going to probably bring in some conversation about, our philanthropy and some of the sponsorships that we're doing as well. Seems like a lot of stuff today.
Yes. The intro took 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So we can only imagine how long the show is going to be.
Yeah.
So whether you are a seasoned homeowner or a first-time home buyer, this episode definitely has something for you.
All right, guys, grab a cup of coffee, pull up your chair. Let's get started. It's time to open up our discussion at the closing table. Did you think that the letter Q was going to be hard as it kind of got to that?
I did when I heard a Q, but then you think about it in the terms of title for 0.2 seconds, and there's a couple terms that quickly pop into your brain.
Quickly. Oh. Nice job. Nice use of the Q.
Accidental usage.
Absolutely. So you want to go first and talk about that fun of the deeds?
Yeah, I can go first. So a quit claim deed, many times confused with a quick claim deed. It is, I guess, one and the same, but it is actually a QUIT, a quit claim deed.
Yeah.
It's a legal document that is used to transfer ownership of a property from one person to another.
Yeah. The end.
So what it does is a quit claim deed actually transfers interest. So whatever interest I have in my property, I can quit claim you the interest in that property as well.
Mhm.
But what it doesn't have is a guarantee.
Right.
That is a big difference between something like a trustee's deed or a warranty deed. With those kind of deeds, you get the guarantee, meaning that if there was a lien, if there's taxes, if there's something, that it has to get cleared up before this transfer takes place. A quitclaim deed, what do they say? The Brooklyn Bridge? Is that your favorite one that you go to?
Statue of Liberty, Sears Tower, any of them.
I can quitclaim my interest in the Brooklyn Bridge, Golden Gate Bridge to you. Congratulations.
You could. Thank you.
You got nothing.
Thank you. I own it. No, I don't. Nope.
So what quitclaim deeds, when they're used a lot, we see them a lot in like refinances. Either people going through divorces or someone's wanting to add, a newly married, you're refinancing a house, you want to put a spouse on title. Something like that is the general times that you would use a quitclaim deed. They're done fast. They're pretty easy. And, usually family members will transfer property that way.
That's true. It's ultimately simply said, it's, whatever I own, I give it to you. So if I don't own it, I'm really giving you nothing. So, Aimee's example of the bridge.
And I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. They're pretty simple. It is the least protective deed that is out there. So,
like a title company, a title company will not, most title companies will not insure a transaction that is being conveyed through a quitclaim deed.
Right.
If I'm doing a chain of title, which means like doing the background search of a, title property, I will go back to the last warranty deed I saw and very carefully scrutinize each quitclaim deed in that chain of title to make sure that it was something with siblings or, a divorce going on. So I will not insure a title on a quitclaim deed.
Yep.
I don't
totally makes sense. It's the least protected. It provides the least amount or most amount of liability to us, but the least amount of protection to the consumer. So,
and the new thing, sorry, super quick before a lot of times what we're seeing now is like the investment piece of this, where people are purchasing properties by, giving somebody $10,000 in return for a quitclaim deed.
Right. And
not realizing that in this transfer that's happening, they're getting no protection whatsoever. Like there's no reassurance that these taxes are paid, that these open mortgages have been taken care of, that these liens are. It's legitimately like, here, I want your house. I'm giving you $10,000, and in return, you're giving me this piece of paper that says quitclaim deed.
Yep.
And you have no protection.
But it is, it is transferring it.
It's transferring it 100%.
Right. Thank you for the 10,000. Here, okay, now you own the property. Perfect.
But you have no guarantee.
And you also, that means, yes, you also own every lien and encumbrance that comes with.
Yep.
So that person just said, for $10,000, I got out from underneath all of this stuff that you don't know about because you signed the quitclaim deed and you accepted the $10,000. That's a deal that is done. Do you have recourse? Can you go after them? Can you do all those things? No. You signed,
you took
the
it
deed.
Subject to whatever was open on that property.
Yep.
So make sure you find your investor friendly title company that could help you do these preliminary title searches before you get caught with your pantalones around your ankle.
Yep. And we do that. It is something that we offer to a lot of our investor clients. They often say, hey, could you take a look at this? I'm thinking about buying it. Absolutely.
Yes.
That would be the easiest thing to do to, protect you from any kind of problems. But that leads perfectly into what I'm talking about, which is quiet title. And it's a really weird term for what it does. And, we as title people understand it and get it, but literally quiet title is a legal action that will help establish clear ownership of a piece of property. Simply that. It's used more or less. It's used when there's disputes, when people are disputing the rightful ownership of a property. This can happen in very, very many different ways. You can have a lost deed. You go back to the beginning of time, and grandma and grandpa bought the house and they're both deceased, but we have no idea where the deed's at. It was prior to, the records. So people will, in family will say, no, I own it, you own it, she owns it. Conflicting claims where there are people who, like I just said, say that they own it and, this is the reason why, versus somebody else saying they own it and they give their reasons why. Boundary disputes will come up in in conversation, whether or not, that property is mine or that property is my neighbor's.
Have you ever watched Fear the Neighbor on ID?
Yes.
Oh, I feel like that's what this show needs. A little bit of quiet title talk.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Unpaid liens, another big factor. So really, in essence, it's a quiet title suit is a way to quiet, which means ultimately quiet anybody complaining about the fact that
Extinguish.
they may own that title. They may own that ownership of that property. So you're just quieting all the naysayers to come back and say, shh, you don't own it. I do. And here's why the court said so. So let me give you an example of that in motion or that in action. If, Ryan owns a valuable piece of property and a fraudulent individual forges Ryan's signature. Okay.
Blue.
And he forges it on a deed and they transfer that ownership of the property to themselves. Okay. Then the fraudulent individual goes ahead and sells that property to another buyer.
Tisk, tisk.
Okay. So then Ryan he discovers that this fraudulent deed happened. He files a quiet title suit to help him reclaim that ownership of that property. So the court is going to obviously ask for a whole bunch of, documentation to verify and solidify that position and things. However, upon their ruling, they would find that, oh, hey, that deed was forged and Ryan is the rightful owner. So that sale that happened would all be undone. And what does that look like? Like, the cost of that?
Oh my gosh. The cost, the time, the resources, it's
crazy.
It is nuts.
So certainly that's something you're going to do through, I would
an attorney.
Tell you 100 times, consult your real estate attorney. It's not a simple and quick process.
No.
It is a several month process, but to verify or confirm the validity of your rightful ownership, if you suspect that it has been compromised, it's very well worth it, because there's so many other things, like you had mentioned about the tax situation. So another example of that is a tax sale happens when a person fails to pay their property taxes, their real estate taxes.
I hate everything about taxes in every county.
It's crazy, and you have a certain period of time to pay them when they come due and such. So then the government has the right to take those unpaid taxes and sell them at auction. Okay. So the government sells your taxes at auction to what is called a tax buyer. A tax buyer now has a right to the deed, a tax deed granted by the governing authority to own your property because you defaulted on your taxes. Now, that sounds crazy, but you've had many opportunities throughout this process to what is called redeem those.
Redeem those, yep.
So you've had chances. It's not like they're just coming in and going because you missed it,
by
1 week
days.
later, they're coming in and taking your house. You've had much time to come back and, redeem those taxes and get them back. So that tax deed gives them the right to take possession of that property. So what we do as title folks, and one of the things that kind of undo those, is we need to go back and look and make sure that all of that process to the tax deed, to granting the tax deed to the buyer, was done correctly. They've got time frames on all of it. You've got a time frame on notices that have been sent. You've got a time frame on delivery. You've got a process on delivery. You've got people that need to be notified. If any of those things have not been done correctly through a quiet title suit, you can find that tax deed was not issued properly. Therefore, the rightful ownership goes back to the person who was delinquent, if that makes sense. So if, we as the title company are ensuring a transfer from a tax deed, and we're going, ooh, okay, how do we know it was all done correctly? And obviously now we have to do a lot more digging and diving.
Well, and there are I think about Indiana as the one that I usually see this quiet title brought up most of all. So, I just speak on behalf of what I know. So Indiana has the rule there, if there's a tax deed within 2 years of somebody trying to sell the property, they will not force, but force without saying it, you to have the seller go through a quiet title.
Yep.
And it's, it's an expensive process. It's a time consuming process. But in the grand scheme of things, a quiet title is done to protect your interest.
Correct.
Because what happens when you don't get it done, there's always that chance that there's that one lien claimant. There is a prior tenant that had some kind of homestead rights.
Mhm.
There's somebody else that can come out to try to get that property back. So what a
Right.
quiet title does is ultimately ensure that the person who has the property has the right to have that property, and nobody else can come in and take that property away.
Yeah. I mean, this is all reasons behind why there is a necessity for title insurance. I mean, if that tax buyer sold that property via quitclaim deed to somebody else, all right, Amy's the tax buyer. She quitclaims that property to me. Okay, I own it now. Great. I fix it up. I spend some money, and then I go ahead and list it and sell it, and I make a tremendous profit. The actual owner comes back and goes, wait a minute, I still own that property. Well, why do you think, Mr. Owner, you still own the property? Because they didn't notify some of these creditors, or these items didn't get done timely,
and it's crazy. The process, like, you have to be notified via newspaper,
Yep.
via certified mail. Like, there is a list of ways. And if one of those things is done incorrectly, you have the right to file a claim to get your property back. One thing has to have the wrong number on an address.
So now we, as Inspired Title, we go ahead and we insure Drew's transaction to sell it to that happy homeowner over there, that family. They've got a new home, and Drew fixed it up and everything. However, Amy's sale to Drew was not correct. Happy homeowner with the family now goes, wait a minute, I have a title claim. They're going to come back to Inspired and say, wait, you guys insured this. And we're going to say, yes, we did.
Mm-hmm.
And now that's where that claim piece comes in. However, without that, those folks are out on the street with zero recourse.
Yes.
Zero. So that's scary. And that happens. And we don't tell you that for any other reason, but just to kind of warn and protect and advise that the stuff's out there. So it's something to pay attention to, and it's something that can and could happen to you guys, especially with tax sales as prominent as they are today.
Yeah.
So I hope that helps. I hope you guys got a little bit of insight to that. You got a little quitclaim insight, not quick. All right, a little quitclaim insight, and then you got a little quiet title insight. As always, with any of this, if you guys have any questions, if there's things that you guys want to know more about, or if you think that maybe there's an issue or problem with your property, certainly give us a holler. We're more than happy to help and kind of guide you guys into any of that stuff and kind of get you on course here. So with that, we are going to move on into our next segment, folks. Whew, that was a mouthful. It just like you can go on a tangent with that because there's just so many other details, and I am fascinated with that whole quiet title piece.
It makes me angry.
It's a
not
really
angry in a way. Like, it's so crazy. Like, once you think about it, the reality that can come from it is the part that frustrates me.
Right. The hurt that can be had by the consumer.
Correct.
It's so easy and it's so expensive. So, all right. Well, speaking of expensive and speaking of hurt, let's talk about the market from 2024 as we kind of enter into October. Yeah. Holy cow.
The end.
Right.
Like, I don't understand. I don't understand how we made it to October in 2024.
I have
some days feel like they're 7 years, but some weeks and months just fly by.
Well, we were lucky enough to play in another charity outing yesterday, and we were kind of sitting there going,
I think I would have met Ozzy. I think I would have gotten a picture with him.
Everybody would have. They were doing it in the
I'm just saying, if I won and stayed the closest to the pin,
yeah.
I think I would have gotten a celebratory picture with him.
Yes, you probably would have. Aimee, once again, carries the team.
Aimee does not carry the team. Mikey is a
Yeah,
Pretty
Mike is a
stellar
good
player.
golfer. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mike is a good golfer, and he helped out. So anyway, we were doing this thing, and we're kind of talking about time, and we're going, all right, this actually feels like we've been out here for 24 hours. It just seemed like, I mean, it was laborious. We were just dying, and it wasn't hot.
No, but every time you swung a club, you waited 45 minutes before you got to swing it.
In between holes, it just became obnoxious. And so here
then
we are.
We got cut in front of on the last hole, and
we're bouncing.
We're like, we're done.
We're done. Our patience had been broken, and here we are.
Where did you two come from?
In October, going, oh my gosh, it's October. So I've been talking.
Halloween costume. Did you?
No, I saw yours. It's quite cool. I
showed you. I did.
You did. Yes, you did. I'm excited to say that I've been talking a lot about the market and projections and what's going to happen and all these different things. And last month, the Feds went ahead and cut the interest rates by 50 basis points, which is basically 0.5%. And everybody and their brother seemed like, oh, okay, this is great. We're back. It's going to be 3% tomorrow. We're good. And realistically, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we started noticing the business increase weeks before that in anticipation of the Feds cutting this.
Isn't that crazy?
Right?
Yeah.
So just because they cut the interest rates, interest rates are connected to the Treasury. Okay. And that's that it gets a little bit dicey where it's not a direct correlation, and that's a topic for a whole nother day.
But that is a big thing to remember. Just because you hear the Feds drop their rates does not mean your interest rate on a mortgage that same day is going to drop a percentage point.
Right.
It maybe is an indication that something might come of it, but it's not like you said, not a direct correlation.
What that impacts is everything.
Everything.
Gas prices, consumer prices and products at stores and things down the line. Like it impacts all those things. I mean, if you look now, gas prices have come down and it's a
until I decide to get gas, then they're 10 cents more again.
Right. Right.
I'm lucky.
Or you go on a trip and you're like, oh, look at that. But realistically, what does this mean? And how does this impact the consumer? And what are you guys to expect and see? What do you see, Aim?
Yeah. So, and just to, I feel like once things are happening in the market, Drew and I feel the need to step in and comment about it.
Yeah.
So if you are tuning in and if you're popping onto an episode that we did 4 months ago and you're listening to this and being like, these people are just way, way off, come to our most recent episode and, see what we're seeing right now from our side of things. So what I do think might come from this, if mortgage rates drop a little bit, I think we're going to see increased competition in the buyer's market. Because everyone is waiting. It's like the bubble that's about to burst. Like, I feel like there's going to be some magic number, whether it's high fives, mid fives, that people are going to be like, now I can buy. But guess what? There's other people that have been sitting there either renting a house for one more year that are just waiting for that 1 percentage point. So like we've said it before, if you find the house of your dreams, don't let that decision rest on what a mortgage rate is, the interest rate of a mortgage.
I mean, this inherently has to cause bidding wars again.
It's going to happen
because we still have that same problem where we don't have enough inventory. Now, might some of the inventory increase a little bit? Yeah, a little bit, but this still could be, negative from the standpoint of, increasing prices of houses still.
Yeah. And I think the weird thing is starter homes are going to and I think about the people my parents' age. They're looking to downsize temporarily. And the people who are first-time home buyers are looking for a starter home.
Right.
So there's going to be an increased competition for these smaller houses, I feel like.
I agree.
Which will be scary to see what happens. I feel like sometimes the bigger these houses are, the harder it is to find somebody to buy that home because it's a lot of house to take care of. So it's just one of the weird things
And I think the spread, as Aimee kind of alluded to a little bit, is I think the spread's got to be at least a full point before you really make any kind of alteration or change to your mortgage or to your lifestyle. Like you're not going to make a decision to give up that 3 or 4% interest rate if the interest rates are 5. I mean, but if they're 7 and they come down to 5 or 5.5, sure. Not, I mean, you're 1.5 to 2 points less. Sure.
Yeah.
And why I say that is because there's closing costs and fees that go with that. You want to be able, you want to make, it has to make sense.
Yeah.
Like you want to be able to recoup your expense, the cost that it takes to do that refinance. You'd like to make that back up in a short period of time. You know, if it takes you 5 years to make that back, is it worth it?
Right.
You know, how long are you going to be in the house? There's a lot of factors.
There's a lot of stuff that
right?
goes into it. Yeah.
Well, I think that too, you know, who's this going to impact? You know, is this going to impact the buyer more? Is this going to impact a seller more?
Everyone.
Yeah. I mean, first time home buyers, like I think everybody is affected differently.
Yes.
Right. How would a seller be affected by this? What's a seller going to be, you know, worried about?
I mean, I will answer that. But side note, how long do you think it might be until this flips to a buyer's market?
Okay. So
isn't that crazy?
Yeah. First of all, defining a buyer's market. A buyer's market means there's a lot of inventory and a buyer has a plethora of choices to make to purchasing a home. Whereas right now it's a seller's market because there's not a lot of inventory and they're going, I'm going to get top dollar.
And it's been a seller's market since COVID.
For a long time.
Right? I mean, it's been 3 years.
Yeah.
Like,
cyclical though, it'll shift.
But this cycle,
Sick. You could say sick right there and stop.
This cycle though is like, it's long.
It is. Yeah. But I mean, still cyclical. You know, that's the beauty of the real estate market is it's this roller coaster ride that you don't know. It's truly why they call it a
blindfolded roller coaster.
Right. You don't, it's not, you know, you get on the, you know, the American Eagle or Batman, you know the ride, you know what it's going to do. You get on the roller coaster of the real estate market, every year it will be a ride.
Or the first time I rode the Iron Gwazi.
What's an Iron Gwazi?
It's a snake. It was at Busch Gardens, and the first time I went on that roller coaster, I was like, came on.
How old were you when you rode the Iron Gwazi?
Last year.
Okay, well, that's great. Okay, folks. So I think
shout out to Uncle John. I think that's his favorite roller coaster too.
There you go. All right, Uncle John. Thanks for taking her on. She's excited about that. I mean, overall, like the home pricing, you know, to one argument, it's going to go up because people are going to be bidding on these homes again. Now, it's not going to go up like it did. It's not going to be as crazy, but you can see an increase in prices. Now, you can also probably see maybe some folks getting off the fence and putting their house on the market now. Great. You can see people going, well, you know, interest rates are low enough. I don't want to rent anymore. I'm going to go buy. Okay. So like, it just depends on where you are.
It seriously depends. Everybody is looking at this with their own set of goggles, and no goggles are right and no goggles are wrong. It's just finding what's right for you and your time.
Yeah. And you know, so overall, I think we can kind of, you know, wrap this up for the conversation. You know, if you're ready to do it, do it. If you're not, don't. If you have a 1 point fluctuation in your interest rate from, you know, where you are to what it is, take the leap. You know, is it going to come down more? Maybe. There's a very good chance that they're talking about, you know, cutting the rates again, you know, 2 more times, which would be the next 2 times they meet. What does that mean?
I don't know.
That's another 50 basis points if they do it a quarter each time.
Means Aimee not sleeping.
You know, is that going to be enough of a refi? Is that going to be enough for buys and sells? Is that going to be enough to you know, alter the market for people putting their houses and increasing the inventory? Stay tuned. I mean,
has our world ever seen something completely similar to this?
They compared this to something that happened back in the like in the early 80s, where interest rates were, you know, high. When I say high, they're double digits, and you know, it was kind of at a stagnation where there was just nothing happening.
Yeah.
So they lowered the interest rates. Then, you know, that started to stimulate the economy, and things started to happen. And so back then, though, versus now, it's a different day and age. Like you can't compare 2024 to 1984.
But that was 40 years ago.
40 years. I mean, that's a lifetime.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is, especially in this market.
I wasn't even a figment of an imagination.
Yeah. Your dad was a kid.
My dad was a baby.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
maybe not a baby,
no,
but he was
no.
little.
I was 15. Like that's
Well,
that's
you're
crazy.
young. You're a young little snippet.
Yeah. What's a snippet? I don't know what a snippet is. Folks, if you guys have questions about the market, if you want to chime in,
Or if you find a fortune, like a gazing bowl, one of those, like a fortune teller bowl that we can read into, that would be awesome too. Because then
you've been to Busch Garden one too many times.
No, but I just feel like this is such an unknown time for everyone.
Yeah,
and
it is.
You know, we could all make our predictions and we could all say we think, and just, you know, we take what we talk about as predictions because we're in this all the time. But once again, there are opinions and our ideas and our thoughts. So I mean, I would love to hear what other experts have going on out there and their thoughts they have, because it's cool to talk about.
Like you said, we're basing it on what we see. You know, business increases. We're seeing more refinances. Okay, well, why is that? Probably because interest rates are lower. Well, makes sense.
Yeah,
that totally makes sense to us. You know, buys and sells. The investors. We're still doing all of that stuff. Like, I wouldn't think that. You know, I wouldn't say you've seen a tremendous decrease in that aspect of the business, right?
Anything.
Yeah. So, God bless. That's great.
That's why I have bags under my eyes.
This is what we say in this industry is, it's feast and famine. You got to, make it while you can, because then you don't know when that next lull is going to be. And truly, we've had that lull for a better part of this year. I mean, it's been pretty quiet.
Yeah.
And now it's, open up the floodgates and here we go. So I want to get to our guest, because
we could talk about this
I'm interested and excited to hear about, his doings and venture and all of the greatness that's going on with him. So we are happy to go into our people portion, right? We like to call that our people portion of the show here today. So guys, we're gonna listen to Brian Barkowski talk, guys. Well, all right, everybody, we are getting ready for what has become our favorite segment of this podcast. It is the people portion. Inspired people portion.
Don't forget the inspired word.
And I'm absolutely excited to introduce and bring on this next guest. This is somebody who goes into my past and really goes into Ryan's past a lot more. Both Ryan and this guest are part of my high school alma mater. It is Brother Rice, and I am excited to introduce to you the one and only Brian Barkowski. Hello, sir. Great to see you. Thank you for being here today and being part of this fine podcast. Welcome, my man.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate the warm welcome and the invitation, and always good to reconnect.
Absolutely. We're having our another special guest. This is producer Ryan.
Wischhover sandwich.
It is. You are surrounded by the Wischhover sandwich.
Hello.
There could be so much worse for you, Aimee. So much worse. I think that you're sitting in a really great spot. So, Brian, let's just kind of kick this thing off with, tell people about who you are, what you do, talk a little bit about
back here.
Yeah, talk about a little bit about, what you're doing, etc.
Yeah. So I'm in mortgages. About 7 years ago, I started a mortgage company, a couple buddies, and really enjoyed it, more so than I thought, for a number of different reasons, because I enjoy helping people get home and guide them through this process. And because how I know Ryan through my connections with Brother Rice and my time for 12 years teaching and working there, I have a lot of my clients were former students, and it's been super rewarding to watch them grow and go from a condo to a home with kids now, and be able to watch them progress in their lives as well. So, but for me now, I got tired of doing all the back end stuff. It's fun to learn and how to build a mortgage company, and I'm glad I learned all that and how to close loans and fund loans. But my real passion is getting in front of people and my clients. And having my own company was inhibiting me from doing that. So I took a step back and working with A&N Mortgage here, located here in the city, and it allows me to really just get in front of people and help provide clients with options depending on what their goals are and what their situation is. And myself and my team can help them get home quickly. But it allows me to have the freedom and flexibility to get in front of my clients and partners, which is the favorite part of this job.
That's fantastic. Yeah, you've never really been shy to talking with people. So Ryan, did you ever get a chance? He coached you, didn't he, or were you just too advanced for him?
No, I didn't. He did not. But he was doing the summer league with us. So he could coach summer league with us and everything. So that's how he would be on the field with us, joking around, playing around, getting serious and stuff too. So it was a good time.
Was he scary when he was mad?
Sometimes at that time, there was times where it was like, okay, Barco's barking. Hey, let's pump the brakes, guys. Well, yeah, but it does have to take a lot. He's a good man. So, but no, he's great coach and everything else.
And Ryan was too good for the sophomores. He went right to varsity. So no, you don't make him stop with the sophomores. You go right to the show.
Yeah, he was definitely blessed with the gift to play, and I mean that whole experience was just absolutely amazing and things. So Barco, what's your take on what's going on in the economic climate with these interest rates and things? What's buzzing in the industry in your conversations with your professionals?
How often do you get asked, are interest rates dropping?
Right?
Almost every day.
Yep.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Is it 4 yet?
So, and I think people have come a little bit more accustomed to understanding, like, hey, they're not going to drop for a bit. I wish we all had that crystal ball, and it's just we're going to have to wait this out a little bit. Historically, rates aren't that bad. Yes, in the last couple of years, they're obviously not as good as they were, but regardless, people still have to move. And I think the biggest issue right now is lack of inventory.
Yeah.
People still, I have a lot of buyers sitting on the fence and they're pre-approved, but there's no inventory. And we have offers, they're 20 deep. And we really have to be creative. It's why finding a good lender and partner and title company is really important, because you have to stand out in this type of market. And what we really do need is when rates do drop, fingers crossed, hopefully, is rates drop enough where people who are sitting on 3% rates right now will actually list their house, because they don't want to list their house because they're not going to go to a 6 or 7 right now. Maybe they'll go to a 5. But we do need to find that sweet spot, because it will open up. Who knows when? But there's still more buyers than there are inventory, and that's really the biggest issue at this point.
Sure.
Yeah, that's obviously what the big struggle right now is the the lack of people selling, and you can't blame them. I mean, stagflation has been created. Why the heck am I going to sell a 3% house when to go to a 6 or a 7? It doesn't make any sense. But have you been confronted with, or has there been any talk in your sphere of the assumptions? Something that we're starting to hear a little bit more of a buzz where people are trying to assume that mortgage. Has that been a conversation in your world?
A little bit, but there's only certain types of loans. Like most conventional loans, you're not going to be able to do.
No.
FHA loans are potential, yes.
Yep. And a VA.
Yeah, VA and FHA. If they're government-backed loans, then yes, they're potentially to be assumed. So I've heard a little bit of it, not a ton, but there are some people asking about it for sure.
Yeah. It is so really for the listeners, what's the big difference between you as a mortgage broker versus going to a bank and doing it that way? What is really the differentiator there?
Gotcha. So when you go to a bank, like, you have their products, that's it. So if you don't fit in the box, or if it's not as conforming, like, you're just getting one set of options. For me, we lend our own money at A&N, but we also have lending partners. So depending on your needs or your goals and situation, I'm going to shop. I have 10 different lenders that I can go to and really take a look at the situation and go through pricing. So it's not just a one-stop shop. Even though we do have our own products, we do have the ability to outsource that too. So again, depending on the situation, either way, I'm going to shop. But depending on the situation, one lender may be more advantageous than another.
Nice.
That's huge.
Nice. You guys, Ryan, do you have any questions for the man over there?
Ask, I know you said inventory is low, but with the inventory that is out there, are there more homes or condos or apartments that you're seeing? What's the difference?
Yeah, it really depends on the area. So in the burbs, it's mostly homes, and if they're priced right, they're going in 72 hours. Like, you're gonna get showings, and they're gonna go. Depending on the city where I'm at downtown now, I mean, different neighborhoods are doing better than others. You're seeing a lot, more condos in this area, of course, but it really just is neighborhood dependent. At the end of the day, there just isn't enough inventory in either scenario, at least in our area. And it's most of the country. There are certain areas across the country that have more inventory than necessary, but here we're still lacking. And we'll see where we get to that sweet spot. But everyone wants to list their home. That's the other part of it too. Maybe you want to list your home and take that equity, but where are you going to go to? The other part of that too is, like, you've got to have that other house to want to, to end up in. So
True.
Are people buying, or I'm sorry, like building more houses then at that point, you think? Rather than, because like Aimee, she built her house and everything as well, and she was went on. I think you were looking at.
It was like 16 months, 18 months that we were looking for houses, and just like everything that was out there, we would walk into an open house and be like, just so you know, we have 8 offers on this house already. And I'm like, okay, well thanks for wasting my weekend, but so we ended up going to the route of building because the prices that were at the top of our budget still needed like probably 50 to 75 grand full of work that we didn't have to put into it.
Yeah, and that's some people are looking at those options. I've had a few friends do that too. So, depending on the area you want to be, a lot don't have land, but if you can find the land, or I know out in the burbs where I was out and down, there's a lot of homes that are getting torn down. Like they're buying it for the land, and they're legit gonna put $1 million home on top of it. They don't care because there's certain areas that are, But yes, to the building side of it, absolutely, we're seeing a little bit more of that too. It's something we can do as well.
Nice. So you do lend on new construction then as well?
We do, absolutely, nice. and land, so we can build on top of it as well. So that's part of having those options.
And do you have anything that like A&N offers for people that are, coming in? They put an offer on a house, the appraisal comes back, and it's 10 grand under, 20 grand under what the purchase price was. Do you guys offer anything to like help make up that difference so the buyer doesn't need to bring that extra 10 or 15 grand?
Nothing we can do with the appraisal themselves, because the appraisers, like, we're kind of arm's lengths away from the appraisers themselves, but not from this short. I can tell you my ones at A&N have not come in yet, but one thing that we do have is our appraisals are only $350, where a lot of times in the industry you're looking $500-600. So we do save a little bit on the appraisal side up front, but nothing we can do in terms of the gap itself. That's more obviously, not obviously, but negotiating with the realtors and the sellers at that point.
Yeah, and that's an interesting concept in conversation too, because realistically, these folks are buying this house with theoretically negative equity, right? I mean, you're upside down 10 grand right out of the gate, but they probably care less because of the fact that the market is as competitive as it is, and they're exhausted because they've been looking for 16-18 months in some instances. So who cares? It's a $10,000. I just need to be done, right? So people are settling, and maybe it's not the most wise decision financially, but I'm
the best
sure
decision for them at this point in time, right?
Yeah, it's all circumstantial, and it's unfortunate, but
that's the scary thing about selling houses too. Mm-hmm. Like the appraisal process. Could you imagine, like, you have somebody that bids your house 40-50 grand over what you were listing it for, and then the appraisal comes back and it's like 30 under what people were paying. It's just so weird to think of. Real estate right now is just weird. That's all I can say.
What's the age kind of group that you're seeing? Is there kids that are 21 years old, we're like, hey, I'm ready to buy a house?
Are there kids like Ryan's age?
Or is it us that are I'm 34 and I'm like, hey, I'm in the condo still, I love it, but like at some point I'm gonna want to get out of it. So what's the kind of age swing of going on that?
It's all over the place, but I'm seeing mid to late 20s and early 30s. So my clients Thursday night are 29 and 25. Nice. They've already owned one place in the city and they're looking for a second one. So too, like a lot of our guys, the Crusaders, are all in their late 20s, early to mid 30s right now. And so still, I'm very fortunate. A lot of my connections are still a lot of the guys that I was either coaching or teaching. And so it's right that age range pretty much. And life happens. People are going to, depending on the situation, people are going to need to move. Sometimes they're buying, sometimes they're not. But like I said, it's been fun in this range to see everybody kind of just grow.
I was going to say, how fun is it for you too, now seeing former students and, on this side of it now, like how paths cross, it's insane.
It's like a proud father, I feel.
Right?
Well, and that's beautiful. So I don't have any kids. So this is really the beauty of it for me, is like watching these kids. Like one of our guys, I don't want to, throw him under the bus as a client, but literally him and his wife bought their place in the South Side, Mount Greenwood home. They just had twin boys and they had to go out to the burbs. And watching them, really just the second house and watching them grow, giving me chills talking about it.
Sure.
It's the best. So,
man, I could totally relate to that. Just coaching a lot of these kids, through the travel ball, and like you said, you bump into them in the store, and they, hey coach, how's it going? And you look at these, and they're grown men, and you're going, my God, I taught you how to walk. Like you had no idea how to, show any coordination. So it's an awesome circle.
I have 24-year-olds still call me Miss Aimee. Because
Wow.
I taught them when they were 12, 13 years old, and now they see me out and they're like, "Hey, Miss Aimee."
It is. It's totally special to to give back and to be part of a community, and Brian has built a big following with he was very involved in the school and in the community within the school. Were you part of the kind of recruitment of the students coming into Rice as well?
Not directly. I was in charge of marketing and fundraising. So some of the marketing had some impact, website and social and things like that, but not on a day-to-day direct recruiting for the kids.
All right. You still involved with the school? You still kind of?
Yeah, I'm still on the board of directors at Rice, and then I'm on the board for Wischhover.
Nice.
So I still help out with, and that's one of the things we're looking to do is a little networking event in the city with Wischhover and trying to ground that crew back up, and just some of the stuff we do. And any excuse to round up the fam is sign me up. So that's hopefully coming up soon too.
Yeah. What's Wish Forever?
So Wischhover, we're a foundation that is one of my former students. He passed away of colon cancer at 22. So his brothers have started this foundation. We're about 10 years deep now, giving away millions of dollars. But essentially what we do is we give away $5,000 to any family battling cancer that at adolescent range, so from like 13 to 37.
Wow.
So if you know anyone that's battling cancer and needs help, we don't care what you do with the money, if it's for a vacation, if it's to pay the bills or the rent, you can do what you want with it. And then you've got a built-in family for support. And one of the things we have is the ambassador board, where these kids in their 20s and 30s, we assign them a family. So when the family comes on and gets awarded, then Ryan would be an ambassador, and he gets to stay in contact and also do some events and give back, but also put some stuff on his resume. And, for me, that's one of my goals right now is reconnecting with my former students and getting them to get more involved. And Wischhover is one of my passions, and just to see what Danny and Nick have done in the family in 10 years. We never thought it would get this big. We kind of did, but still coming. But it's been pretty amazing.
Awesome.
So cool.
Was he your?
No, so it was Andrew. Was the
Andrew was the,
so he was a couple years younger. I remember him and stuff though, like vaguely, but following the Wisher Forever and stuff, like it's been absolutely amazing. I mean, they have OAR come out, they have big people have come out, and it's just been a great following. You guys have done amazing with that. So congrats on all that, and keep it going, man.
Thanks. It's been fun and rewarding, and been really cool to be a part of. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool. I certainly appreciate today and reconnecting with you again, and certainly I think that we have some things in our future that we can certainly line and do together. Your benevolent side kind of lines with certainly what we do as a title company, and I think that there's some obvious synergies there that make total sense. But how do you, if you're a teacher, you're a coach, a mentor, how do you talk to these kids and define success? What does that look like for you?
So for me, success is never stop learning, knowing that you're never gonna have the answers to everything, and we're all trying to figure out how to get through life. I don't care how old you get, be thankful you get this old and get some gray hair, and just know that just keep grinding. I was 40 when I started a mortgage company. I never closed a loan before in my life, and I walked away from a really great job, but I was living at Brother Rice, and I needed to do a little bit something different, and never realized the rewarding side of this. But at the end of the day, I don't care how old you are. If you're not liking what you're doing, you can change it. You can go do whatever you want, and that is it. Always be learning, and be willing to make a mistake, or when you're not doing what you like, then pivot, get it done.
Man. Love it.
Pivot.
Love it. Go ahead, Aimee.
Pivot.
Bring it.
Okay.
Pivot.
So we're almost halfway done with the year now already.
Yeah.
Weird to think.
Scary.
So for the next 6 months, what are your goals? What would make you feel like 2024 was just a successful year, either personally or in your business?
Well, business wise, I really want to get two things. I'd really like to get, like I mentioned, this networking event off the ground. Now that I moved back to the city and with this company, and I've got just so many more people than I love the burbs, but just doesn't have the population density, the people, my connections. I want to get that networking event off the ground before the end of the year and before the summer. Two, I'd like to get some kind of educational piece going, either from at NN, we have like an event space. I'd like to either do in-person stuff or education, or maybe do some kind of online class. And one thing for me is really my marketing background is doing like a social media kind of like 3 or 4 step process for realtors and people in real estate of how to create an avatar, how to create a hook and script your, your video and get it done. So for me, that's how I educate now, hopefully, is through my videos and, through social media, and try to pick topics that are relevant and to, in 30 to 60 seconds, try to give some people some education on it, maybe have a little fun with it. But that's for me how I try to do the education and give back.
Nice.
I love that.
Nice. No, it's great. Ryan, what do you have for him before we let him get on with his life and his day? Have any questions? Anything you want to know that, it's been a little bit since you've seen him? Could he still hit a baseball? Probably not.
I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see one day and, see if you can see how well you can throw some BP or something too.
I can throw BP. I did go to Sluggers a couple of weeks ago. The arm's still in good shape. I'd love to be able to throw BP. I could do that all day long.
Yeah. I don't know if we're allowed up in that north side area. Like we get a little area and it just kind of gets really weird up there.
Well, I was hoping maybe you guys would be coming tonight or tomorrow. Well, my old man, my mom took him to a Cubs game. He was a Sox fan. She was the Cub fan, and it got rained out. And my dad really said that was God's way of saying he didn't belong. So I feel it.
I love it. No, that is great. And man, it's great to hear that you're doing well and stepping outside of your comfort zone and going from what was comfortable to, taking on a business of your own, and now kind of, stepping back and doing it in a different way with the, skill set that you have. And it's always great to reconnect and see you, and certainly look forward to, partnering up on some things and doing some biz together, and let us know how we can, help out in any of your philanthropic ways. We'd love to participate, my man.
We'll do it. Absolutely. Before I take off, I want to say something about, one thing we can do is education class on like how, sellers can, or the attorney title company in Illinois, right? How that rule works for purchases and refis. Yeah. But one thing I will say, title companies are not all built great at the same, and title companies matter, right? And they're different, and you guys are definitely different. And when people are going to refi, when you're all purchased in the last couple of years, when you do refi and you do get a chance to actually pick your title company, make sure you talk to Drew and the team, because they are different, and you are in good hands when you work with them. So there is a difference. And then maybe that little class we can do the difference between pick and title companies from purchases and refis one day.
Love it. Yeah, we can absolutely. Thanks for that plug and plug yourself. How can people get a hold of you? Where can they connect to you and all your social channels, etc.? You
got it. Easiest way is homeinablink.com. So it'll take you to my website. You can apply, but it's got all my socials. Easiest way to get a hold of me, or 312-77-BARCO. That'll get a hold of me too.
Oh, I love it. Dude, I love it.
Wow.
Well,
Barco advertisement left and right.
Yeah, man.
We'll get a billboard for the guy too.
Dude, you're special, and we appreciate it. And thanks for that, those kind words. We will definitely be in touch when this refi market gets kicking again. But look for us to be working with this great guy from A&N Mortgage. So thanks for your time today. We appreciate you. We appreciate all that you're doing out there. Keep it up and look forward to it, my man.
And same. Really good to see you guys, and we got to catch up in person soon.
You got it, bud. Take care.
Take care.
See you guys.
He is.
So that was a blast from your past, huh?
Yeah, he's a good dude. He is obviously somebody that.
Did he have a bun? Does he have that much luscious hair?
Yeah, he has. Yes,
wow.
His hair is kind of slicked back into a ponytail.
Are you jealous, Ryan?
Yeah, he's a good dude. So let's get on to our next segment. What do you think about that, Aim? I
was thinking this was a song we ended on.
Yeah, really? that's pretty cool. Like,
are you jealous of his hair?
I love Brian. I mean,
Do you love his hair?
Like, how could you not? I mean, seriously, like, we have a history with him, and obviously not only just going to the same high school, but just literally the dude he is, and he with the hair and everything, he's a dude.
He's
There's no
bro.
doubt.
Yeah.
So thanks, Brian, for coming on here and taking some time to grace us with your presence and share some of the things that are going on in the market as well as with you. So we're excited about that. Now, what do you think?
Go for it.
Let's do it.
This is your baby.
We are going to do this wonderful announcement here. You might have seen it already on some of our social channels. You might have heard it through the grapevine. We are doing a panel event in November, and I can't tell you how moved, motivated, like I've just got this, I'm overcome with this tremendous I don't know, noise. There's just this has been, kind of in me for a while. And Aimee and I we've talked about it for some time. And I've talked about it with other colleagues and things. And I've even suggested for other colleagues to do it, and I'd help out with it. And nobody really jumped at it and took the lead. So I brought it to my team, and we are on November 19th. We are breaking the silence. And what are we breaking the silence about?
Mental health.
Mental health. Mental health. Your mental health matters. And I think it's a topic that everybody wants to hear. I think it's something that you guys are going to really benefit from by coming out. It's in Oak Brook at Venture X from 5 to 7. You can buy your tickets online through Eventbrite. All of that money, every dollar that we raise, I think it's a $10 ticket price. It's not like, it's any big deal. But all of that is going to Hope for the Day, which is a tremendous organization that is, very heavily engaged in the mental health space, suicide, and trafficking. And it's just an incredible organization. Becca Hall, who was on here last show, was she on? It was.
You said show, I said episode. That's all.
Last show she was on to chat with us about all of that. So if you missed that episode, go back. She is great, and that's where all these funds are going. So we're going to be doing a panel. We have mental health experts up there. Yeah. We're going to be talking about all the things that are kind of questions in your mind, and how I've really come to this is just through conversation. People talking about, what is this whole, mental health day that, people are talking about, and how do I do this work-life balance? And, who do I talk to get some help on this? We're going to answer all of those questions for you at this event, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., November 19th, Venture X in Oak Brook. It's on our website. It is on our event page, I believe, as well. Follow us, because we are going to continue to solicit it and market it. You'll hear from the panelists. You're going to hear from Aimee. You're going to hear from me about some of the different things that we're going to be talking about and doing. You're not going to want to miss this. Please invite your friends. Please help us sell this thing out, because we are trying to bring this to you guys, because I think that there's a tremendous value and benefit in this, and it's something that is really needed to be talked about. So I'm very excited about it, if you can't tell. So what else we got, Aim?
Just you can get your tickets on Eventbrite.
Yes.
That's where we are soliciting it mainly through, as far as ticket purchases. If you just look up Breaking the Silence or look up Inspired Title Group, it will give you all the information that you might need there, and how to register, and a little snippet on,
Perfect.
Hope for the Day and all the information.
Perfect.
And also, we dropped off our golf outing money to Pillars earlier this week, which was super cool to see what Pillars is and what it's all about. Got to talk to a great group of women from a great organization, they need to do some kind of warehouse clean out. So we're hoping that they're going to call in the troops to help out with that. We all like to get our hands dirty to help out some people. And also the Bridge Teen Center.
Yeah.
Drew, Courtney, and I all have our after school programs coming up there in the next couple weeks. Yeah. So we're busy little bumblebees right now.
Yeah. What's yours on again? You're doing tumbling?
I'm doing tumbling. I'm talking about how, the building blocks of things.
That's cool.
you have to have a strong foundation and build on top of it before you can get
that's
to,
really fun.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, Courtney's doing some kind of a Hulk smash. And again, Courtney being in the mental health space, so she's kind of, just touching on that as well. And just to back up a second, Pillars is also in that mental health space, is one of the organizations that we work closely with in our kind of core group of organizations and charities that we work with. So, and then I'm going to do a little bit of a business series and conversation with the youth to kind of do like a mock Shark Tank with these kids and kind of, help them pitch a business and what is it like to, what does it take to kind of, build a business and what does that look like? So pretty excited about that. And it's going to be a great, I love the Bridge. I mean, they're just great.
Yes. Great people. That's for sure.
It's something that's awesome. So yes, that's really a lot of things that are kind of going on. I mean, we got stuff coming up for the end of the year that we're going to be doing for the holidays, and we're working on kind of planning through that. But
I cannot believe we're talking about the end of the year and about holidays.
No, it
makes me want to throw up.
When we started talking about this event for November 19th, I went, November 19th, like that's miles away. I mean, come on. It's not. I think you counted the other day, like what was it, 6 weeks? It
was 6 weeks.
Yes. I mean, like,
it's
no, stop
silly.
It. No.
There's like 9 Saturdays until Christmas or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are thankful for you guys and your support through this, and we are thankful for all the folks that are following us and sharing us and becoming our social media friends. And we're just asking that you continue to get this word out there. We got to thank Brian for his greatness and being a guest on this show. Again, we do this show so we can promote some of our clients, our businesses, the people that we love to work with, the people that are aligned with us. So, we can't do any of those things without you guys as, the guests and you guys as the audience and listeners. So please share, subscribe, all of that fun, right?
Yeah.
Want to take these folks out of here, Aim? What do you think?
Well, didn't you just do that?
I don't know. You can do it too. Say something great. Give them a call to action. Give them a.
You already did.
Give them a.
You took all the thunder for the outro.
Love. I don't know. I'm just. I don't know. I'm gonna roll, and I thank you guys for being here with us. Until next time, I guess we're 2 more weeks, and we're gonna be.
Is it gonna be our Oh no, we have
no
2 more weeks until our Halloween, or 4 more weeks until our Halloween episode, because I think Halloween's on a Thursday, right?
Costume up. Woo-hoo! Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Drew.
And my name is Aimee.
We are your friendly hosts at the
Closing Table.
Well, there you have it. That's it for this week's edition of The Closing Table. Be sure to head over to our podcast page on Spotify for more episodes. And please subscribe, like, and share. Follow the team on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Join us again next time, everybody. And thanks for listening.